Fall is in the air. The days are getting shorter, and clowns are running rampant across North America. So it must be that time of year again. Halloween. While the kids prepare to gorge themselves on snack-sized Snickers, with all the convenient leftovers going to you-know-who, we're busy prepping a list of the scariest games available on PS4. Because Halloween isn't Halloween without a few nights of scaring yourself stupid at 2 a.m. by watching your virtual self be stalked and mutilated by the creepiest beings imaginable. Well, on that high note, I'm Raycevick, here to bring you COGconnected's top picks for the scariest games on PlayStation 4. From the very beginning, Layers of Fear's brand of Victorian horror feels fully realized. As a troubled painter struggling to complete your magnum opus, you return to your home with crippling anxiety and hallucinations. Hallways become nightmarish labyrinths filled with frightening images and reminders of the horrible lengths you've gone to for the sake of art. Progressing through the story means uncovering more and more horrors around the painter and his family. So this pizza guy is on the last delivery of his night and runs into something entirely unexpected. No, that's not the plotline of some X-rated movie, it's the premise of Emily Wants to Play, where every hour could mean life or death. Trapped in the house, each hour passes with a new toy coming to life to both terrify and murder you, in that order. It's your job to survive the night using nothing but your wits and quick reflexes. Good luck, noble pizza boy. Anyone who says The Last of Us isn't scary hasn't played on grounded difficulty. Try running into a dark room full of clickers with no idea how many bullets you have, and absolutely no ability to track where these guys are. There is no health, only alive or dead. A serious lack of resources turns The Last of Us into what it always should have been. A desperate attempt at survival where even the slightest wrong move means death. You'll never look at The Last of Us the same way again. Dying Light is one of those games that makes you feel like an ultimate badass, hacking and slashing through zombies with a plethora of weapons, all the while leaping from rooftop to rooftop with your incredible parkour skills. So what makes it scary? When the sun goes down, that badass doesn't seem so tough anymore in the face of super zombies who can track you down faster than the Predator. The escalating tension between night and day means venturing out in Dying Light is an exercise in strategy and time management, lest you get caught running for your life. For those of you unfamiliar with Bloodborne, it's the blood-soaked bastard stepchild of the Dark Souls series, a feverish nightmare where all manner of beasts roam the Victorian streets. What makes Bloodborne so good? It could be the masterfully aggressive combat, the dynamic environment, the risk of death at every corner, or just the terrifying mass of withering flesh pouring out of the blood moon that calls itself a boss fight. Resident Evil is the granddaddy of modern horror games. It's the George Romero to Dying Light's Danny Boyle. Roaming through the Spencer Mansion is as tense and terrifying as it was 20 years ago, with a fixed camera and limited ammo supply standing the test of time. The HD remaster brings the game up to date, so new and old generations can experience that first liquor encounter with full HD clarity. And, wouldn't you know it, it also happens to be one of the free games for this month's PlayStation Plus. Lucky you. Alien is undisputedly one of the greatest sci-fi horror films ever produced, and if you argue with me, I'm more than happy to toss you right out an airlock. While the translation of video games has been lackluster at best, one of the strongest entries has been 2014's Alien Isolation. Yes, the character of Amanda Ripley is mind-numbingly dull, and sometimes the alien can be a little wonky, but man, when it works, it seriously works. This is a stressful game, one where you will find yourself repeatedly holding your breath, wondering if the alien will discover you hiding in a locker or under a table cowering in fear. The answer is yes, yes it will, and you will be brutally murdered. SOMA presents a thought-provoking narrative along with its chills, grappling with fundamental questions of consciousness, identity, and the relationship between the mind and body. As sentient AIs run amok in the underwater facility, it's your job to piece together what's happened and how to escape. The robots are intimidating and scary, particularly so since they can't understand why you don't see them as human. Some of SOMA's most intense sequences take place in claustrophobic environments deep below the ocean, so maybe not for those who hate small, dark, confined spaces. Ever wanted to explore a mental asylum late at night with literally the worst night vision camera ever designed? First of all, what is wrong with you? Second of all, you're in luck, because Outlast is exactly that, and it is bloody terrifying. Just like your weak, fleshy self, you are completely powerless in Outlast. Instead, relying on the tired and true method of running and hiding until the bad man goes away. But guess what? That bad man will tear apart the room looking for your cowardly self, making these moments genuinely terrifying as you do nothing but watch and wait for your potential discovery. Oh, and if you manage to escape the asylum, then hop right on into the Outlast 2 demo, where you can try your luck with some crazed cultists in the Arizona desert. Until Dawn is a love letter to the cheesy horror movies that dominated the 80s and 90s. Stop me if this sounds familiar. 8 attractive stereotyped teenagers decide to have an epic party in a lonesome cabin in the woods. But what they don't know are the horrors that await them. Until Dawn understands that it's incredibly cliche, and it relishes it. Teenagers make bad decisions, they split off into separate groups, make every attempt to have sex at the worst possible moments, and think jump scares are funny, even while being stalked by some insane murderer. The best part of Until Dawn, you control each and every one of their fates. Let them all live, or watch them all die. It's pure horror tropes at their finest.